When customers come into the Bell branch, I would like them to know that it's not just a place they can do their banking. They can come laugh with us, cry with us, pray with us. We want to be their friend, not just their bankers. My name is Courtney Frazier, and I'm the Bell branch manager. Happy Banking is different because our level of customer service that we offer to our customers and the personal relationships that we develop with our customers.
Okay, we're going to start with staff today.
I really felt like you've been picked on unfairly.
Oh, no. He's very handsome.
He said Claude gave him a thumbs up, so I don't know what that means.
Hi. Okay, we'll go ahead and start with staff report.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes,
If we could, let's do that. We would ask Miss Judy Phelps, who runs your city transit system, and Vicki Covey to come up.
Ooh, the Madison put that thing up.
They are going to run through, very briefly, a few of the proposed changes that will be presented in the required public hearing regarding the changes we'll make to the transit system for next year. So, with that, ladies.
I haven't seen you in a while.
All right. The Transit Department and the Public Works Department have worked together to survey all of our bus stops located along the fixed routes. We've been meeting with the Advisory Commission for People with Disabilities over the past 3 months, presenting this information to them and also offering an opportunity for the public to come in and talk to us about these proposed changes. Survey work is completed, and now we're ready to present this. The grant, the work will be funded by a grant from the Federal Transit Administration, 80-20, 80% federal, 20% local. Now Route 1, we have no proposed changes to it. It will stay as it is. Route 2, now we have some proposed changes to add service to Cypress Creek and Mariposa apartment complexes. That's going to be up here by United at the very top of the screen by Jason.
I'll be Vanna.
Oh, Vanna. Okay. At the very top.
I think Vanna needs to be called.
Which school?
You don't have a laser?
Okay. You talk, I'll point.
Laser
Yes.
won't show on that one.
Oh, really?
By United. So then we'll have, those are apartment complexes for elderly and people with disabilities. And also will provide service to United Circuit Markets. That way they don't have to go all the way downtown, transfer, and then go to another route just to go to the grocery store.
Cool.
Okay? Now these changes are going to require 15 minutes to the route schedule, time schedule. Okay? We're also going to add, make a few changes over here on Pierce and Taylor, and that's to get the bus off the brick streets, which just rattles the buses. It's an uncomfortable ride for the passengers. Okay, we're just going to move them over. Okay.
Yeah, Commissioner Simmons.
Okay, Route 3. Now, on this route, trains frequently block the railroad tracks on Northeast 24th between Grand and Eastridge. That's a real problem for people who are on the bus because you're sitting there and you're trapped. You can't go, so then we have to deviate around. That increases time to the schedule. Then the passengers don't know where's the bus, so then they're going to call the office. We're calling the dispatchers, and that just creates a lot of confusion. In an effort to fix that, we're going to deviate around that where the little dotted area is. Where the bus comes.
Oh,
It'll be right, yeah, right around here.
That's not a little
Yes.
dotted area. That's a little dotted.
It is, but that will
Stay up.
that'll fix that problem. That way, we're not worried about dealing with the trains. The passengers know where the bus is going to be. We're not going to miss people.
There's still a train track south.
The bridge, we go over
Oh,
the
there,
bridge
okay, there is.
on the boulevard.
Ah,
So
yeah,
we'll go all,
Yep.
go all the way around it. That way, the passengers, the confusion will go away for them.
On the typhoon place.
Yes.
I was gonna say, how long does it take on that route? That was big. Much bigger than the other ones last time.
It's going to add 15 minutes to the route. It'll be
How
a
long's
40.
the route right now?
Well, 30 minutes, but it's very rare that they can do it in 30 minutes because primarily the passengers, it's a busy route. So it's going to go to 45 minutes. Okay? Okay. The next one. Route 4 and 5, we have one bus on each route, but they share. The bus will go out on Route 4, then it'll go to 5, and it alternates back and forth. We're going to stop doing that. But we did that in the past because it was quicker and it was easier. We could keep the buses moving. But because passenger volumes have increased so much, we just can't do that. Because what happens is they'll get on one route and they get really busy, and then it's that bus can't keep up, and then the buses will actually meet up. That causes huge problems. So we're gonna put one bus on 4 and one on 5. Well, they meet up and then the passengers are all calling, where's my bus? Well, they're about 5 minutes behind one another. So we'll put one bus on 4 and one bus on 5. We're also going to add service to the 34th and Osage area. There's been a lot of new apartment complexes in that area. And we have, the closest they can get to a bus is over at Nelson by Caprock High School. That's a long walk.
Yes.
So this will improve service to that area.
Judy, are you able to track all the buses like we do the police and fire now? Know where they are? Is that?
GPS?
Uh-huh.
No, but we do have that in a grant
Okay,
to
good.
do that in the next couple of years. Now, we're also going to add 15 minutes to that schedule as well. Okay?
That 80/20, that's not an unlimited amount of money, is it?
Pardon?
You said 80/20, the feds pay 80,
Uh-huh.
that's not unlimited.
No,
Well,
we're
we
not
get a
gonna get
certain
through
grant
the
amount.
hours.
No, I'm just asking you, I want to be
if,
good to them.
well, so long as you don't exceed your grant amount, but let's say that we don't have enough money in one grant, then the next year's grant, we just add that project to it, and then we just put money for the project. So it's funded then by 2 grants.
Okay, what's our typical per year operating grant
Well, our operations is about $3 million.
in the capital?
Yes, is whatever's left over. The total grant amount. I'm in copies. Okay. This is our grant for the 9-10 fiscal year, $2,769,476. But you gotta remember, operations is 50/50. So if operations is $3 million, 1.5 comes from the feds, and then the rest comes from, we get a little bit from the state, then the local, we have a little bit of fare box revenue. Okay? Okay, well, now on Route 4, we're also going to add service to go around I-4, yes, by the Cracker Barrel, Quarter Horse. We're getting a lot of requests from passengers in that area because they're having to walk quite a long ways up to Ross Osage to access bus service. Okay?
Where are those residents coming from?
The areas, right, the neighborhoods.
Because behind, north of Corridor Association, Cracker Barrel, and all that is not,
People work in that area.
oh, working.
In that lake,
Yes.
there's,
And then you've got the area just on the other side of I-40 where Camelot is. There's a lot. It's a big residential area.
Got that, yeah, but it was the north part that I was
Yeah.
behind, North Cracker Barrel, North Corridor. But sure, you may want to go eat there.
Well, there's several motels there that they work at.
Good show. I understand.
Okay. Okay, we're now to Route 5. Now this one is sideways because if you turn it this way, it squishes it too much. So we know it looks weird. Route 5, once again, we're going to dedicate one bus to Route 5.
Show Washington Street, that'll help us orient that.
So does that figure out where I am? Right here at Washington Street.
Okay.
So it's right here.
It was
Okay.
turned it away.
Actually, that's the way it is, north is that direction.
ADVO is building a new building out there.
Thank you, Commissioner.
You know, ADVO used to be over on Plains Boulevard and their building burned. They're building a larger facility and they plan to serve about 300 consumers out there. And the need is here in our community. They'll be opening up probably by the summertime. So we've got to get a fixed route bus out there. You know, their customers are our customers and they're going to need transportation to that area. And
Plus, their customers that are in a huge need that they can't drive.
that's right. They'll never be able to drive.
So that's good.
Yes. So we're going to rearrange the route to get service out to them. This is going to add 15 minutes to the Route 5 time schedule. Route 6, we have no changes proposed for Route 6, but we do want to add 15 minutes to the time schedule. It's huge, yeah. Traffic, passengers, it's a very busy route. So we just need the extra 15 minutes. Okay? Route 7. Now this route, we are adding 15 minutes to the time schedule, and then we're also making some modifications in the downtown area so that we can provide better service. 10th Street has become so congested. It's very rare that our bus can actually even pull over to the bus stop, so they have to stop in the street for passengers to get on and off the bus.
Which region is this?
Downtown?
This is downtown.
Yes.
The long diagonal line, rails to trails.
Yes. Yes. So
Down Plains Boulevard.
we're just going to make some changes so that we can, so people can get safely on and off the bus. So you think about it, you've got parking on both sides of 10th, plus you've got 4 lanes of traffic. There are many times where we've got a bus and you have all the traffic and people parked, and we've had instances where we've hit mirrors and we're in our lane, but there's just not enough room. So this will also take care of that problem as well, make it safer for everybody.
Also adding access to the Points West area.
Yes, we are.
To pick up,
Yes.
of course, both the existing Blue Cross Blue Shield operations.
Yes.
And the future apps call center, some of those things that are going in.
There's a lot of medical out there that is relocated. Plus, we're also going to get service to the Care Circle. Yes, right in there. There's a lot that has relocated out there. And of course, right now with our fixed routes, unless somebody is pretty daring and wants to cross Business 40, it would be pretty tough to get over there. So we'll provide service, and that will help our customers to, find employment opportunities out at Point West, plus also medical care. Okay. Route 8. This route, we're going to add Walmart to the permanent part of the route. We're going out there just about every round. But what's required is the passenger has to call and say, I'm finished with my shopping, I need the bus to come get me. And then when they're on the bus, they have to ask the driver to deviate over there. In the beginning, there just wasn't a lot of traffic, but there is now, and we just need to go by there every round.
Now this is Jamaica Road at Plum Creek.
Yes. And we'll also get Route 8 out to the Point West area also. That way, right now, unless if you're on the route that takes you by that location, you've got to go downtown and transfer, then go all the way back out. This will give people opportunities whether on Route 7 or Route 8 to go out there without having to go downtown and transfer. And that'll be a big bonus for our passengers. We're also going to add service to Texas Tech Medical. Right now, the buses, in order to get over to Texas Tech, they've got to get off at Northwest Texas Hospital and cross Coulter. Coulter's pretty busy. This will make it easier and safer for them as well, especially if you've got a lot of parents or kids that go out there. Okay? We're also going to add 30 minutes to the Route 8 bus. Okay?
Adding 30 to that one.
Yes, it's once again, it's a very busy route. Our buses have really increased in ridership. In many cases, there's standing room only on the buses. We've had times where the drivers had to say, stop and tell the passenger, we just don't have room.
Must be all the bicycles.
It's the bike racks.
There you go. There you go. But these changes will improve the routes, it's going to improve service to the customers, and also make it easier for the drivers.
I thought Commissioner Sims said only 6 people riding their bikes and had all this.
8.
Okay.
Well, that's
Judy,
the
you are so good at what
bike
you do.
lanes.
Thank you so much for all that. I was going to ask you, tell us how the federal funding comes in on this at $200,000. Remind us again on the population.
Okay. With the census that was just completed, if we go over 200,000, we will lose our federal operating assistance. And in that one I looked at, that would be
That's bad.
$1,663,775. But the way they phase it out, well, that's the way the legislation's written today, so something could change. But the way it's written today is when the numbers hit the Federal Register, you're fully funded that year. The next year, they cut it in half, so we get about $800,000. Then the next year, they cut it in half again, so you get about $400,000. Then you get nothing.
And that's been a pretty long-standing rule.
Yes.
So, barring a major shift in opinion or priority, we need to keep that in mind.
Ms. Phelps, have you thought about adding your
You know, we have, it's just a situation of just staff time to get it done and to work it out with them.
Well, I think you've done a great job.
Well,
Because that's, you've done this with existing equipment, with the exception of that 1, 4, and 5 deal, but we had the equipment available. And yet you've expanded all these routes, which is customer friendly. And I remember complaints that have come in, and I don't have them written down, but I think you probably addressed every one of them.
We've tried, but I have to.
Great job.
Well, the staff, I have to give the credit to them. They
Nah,
have a
don't
great
take it all
staff.
yourself.
Well, we have a great staff out there, and
It's great.
we're fortunate to have them.
Good job.
However, we're always looking for drivers.
Yes.
Jim?
You're retired.
Anybody that's presently
license.
between jobs, we'll get your license.
Train you, we'll get your CD.
Do we have how many buses?
We have 12 buses in route service during the day. We have 17 total. We have 5 spares.
Okay, and they're used for handicap or?
Spectrum.
Well, I already have it, don't
The 5 spares are used whenever we have one of our fixed route buses is being repaired, service, preventive maintenance, that kind of stuff. But we have 12 buses in route service.
And then you have 7
We have,
trains.
we operate 6 spec trans vans during the day, and then we have 4 spares.
And the spec trans is the call for service for eligible.
Right. And that one's busting us.
Yeah.
Are you still upset with Commissioner Boyd when he took charge of that bus and let the brakes off and put us all forward? What you
You're not supposed to tell.
I
didn't
didn't
hit
apologize to her.
Anybody?
Threw us all
Well,
off.
Judy, thank you. You've done a great job.
Sure, I
Really
did.
appreciate
Good
it.
work.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I've driven one of these
Is
before.
that it, Jared? Is that it? Okay. Okay, we will go to the agenda then, and we'll start with the new first reading on 7255. Please.
Mayor, 7255 is a rezoning up here across the railroad tracks. Kelly?
This is a
Hello.
pretty interesting zoning case. It's in an area that has a lot of different types of land uses, but specifically this particular area was it's one of the oldest platted areas in town. And so there was a lot of this property was platted residential, but then you also had the railroad spurs that have been there a long time as well. So you had some old residential development that was occurring through time, but then you also had this non-residential development that was occurring around the railroad spurs. So you do have a lot of competing land uses around there. However, if you look at your map behind the staff report, you can basically see the dividing line between industrial zoning and residential zoning, albeit multifamily, but still residential zoning. And basically that line runs in the alley between Hayes Street and Garfield Street. And on the ground, if you were looking at an aerial, that's really kind of where the split is between, the uses. To the west of that line is, even though it's an older area, and not the best area, there's still a lot of residential development in that area. East of that is a lot of commercial development, industrial type development. So it really does kind of consist of where these two, although we really always try to avoid industrial uses being right adjacent to residential uses, that's how it's developed over time. So, and staff's, and also there's quite a few vacant lots in the industrial zoned areas. And so the property owner, although the lots that are being requested to change the zoning on are vacant, there still is quite a bit of vacant industrial zone property that's already zoned that way in this area. So we were a little bit hesitant to expand the industrial zoning further encroaching into the residentially zoned area, because there is some vacant land due north of this. If you cross 5th Street and 6th Street, those lots there are actually vacant, so you're really kind of starting the precedent of, well, it may, those property owners may want to change the zoning on their property, and like I say, there is residential property right across Hay Street, so you're starting that encroachment. We were concerned about that, so we recommended denial of the request based on the amount of already zoned property that could be available, and also that residential development already being established to the west. The property owner had a representative, Mr. John Goforth, who spoke before the Planning and Zoning Commission. And basically he said that his client that was wanting to build a diesel repair shop, and that it would be a nice looking building. And he does keep his property up. And they had talked to the residents across Hay Street, and they didn't have a problem with it. And basically he said it may be zoned residential, but this will be redeveloped more likely with industrial type or non-residential uses than residential uses. And they really felt that it wouldn't add any negative impacts that aren't already there in the area. The Planning and Zoning Commissioners, basically, that's what it came down to. They said, so the residents across the street were okay with it, and we said yes. And we didn't receive any complaints with the mail outs that we did. And the P&Z commissioners asked staff, what are the chances if this remains zoned residential, what are the chances of it being developed residential? We have to be honest and say, it's not great chances, but still the fact is there's a new Emerson Elementary School that's right up here just a couple blocks away. And there is some fairly recent residential development that happened across from that school. So it's possible. Is it likely? Maybe not, but it is possible. So we stuck with our recommendation. However, the Planning and Zoning Commission felt that the request was appropriate. It wasn't inappropriate, I guess is a better way to say it. And they felt that having this property being developed, contributing to the tax base was appropriate in this case, and so they recommended approval of it, with 5 being for and 1 against. So they're, a little interesting case. We talked a lot about infield development because that's on the minds of people, especially after the comprehensive plan process. This would be an example of infield development. Is it the most appropriate kind? Maybe not, but again, it goes back to the question of, well, how long would it be vacant if you wanted to residential?
Well, the same argument that you gave, that there's other places he could go that are already zoned industrial. Mm-hmm. By the same token, there's a lot of vacant land out there for residential growth.
There is.
That's even closer to the school.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Did most of that manufactured homes?
Manufactured homes?
Yeah, in the house.
There's a few.
I would say it's mostly stick in that area.
Stick built?
There's non-manufactured.
Site-built homes.
Yeah, site-built homes.
There are manufactured in the area, but it's probably not.
So your recommendation was to deny this, the staff was, and they voted to approve it?
5-1.
Okay.
To do.
Yeah, how strongly do y'all feel that? Really gonna make a huge impact?
We put it just basically the way I said it. We gave our arguments. We listened to the applicant's argument, and we put it in the terms of it's not an inappropriate request. It's just that we feel that we had to, with residential uses being directly across the street from it, we felt it was in the best interest of those that were already there to protect that residential zoning. But given all of the commercial uses around the property, it's not an unreasonable request. And so we certainly recognize that. And Planning and Zoning Commission felt that better have it, on the tax base with the development that was being proposed as having it sit there forever hoping for a residential.
Right. That's true too. Is this a situation where we would impose on them certain guidelines on their building and all? We've done that in the past to meet the neighborhood standards.
Well, this is out of the downtown design standards district. This is outside the tiers boundary. This is all north of the railroad over here. But they would be required, just like any other non-residential use, that if they're adjacent to residential development, they would be required to have screening. and
Yeah,
that
that's what
kind
I'm
of
talking about. We're done with it. Not in downtown.
thing. Right.
And so you don't anticipate anyone being here that's maybe, I mean, we never know. We never know, but
Well, we sent out notifications to everybody within 200 feet. We didn't get any calls that were in opposition to it. We didn't get any comments at all. The owner's representative did say that they visited with the residential owners across the street, and they felt that because they knew the owner and he keeps his house nice, that they felt he probably would keep his shop
Yeah.
nice.
Well, that was a good move on his part to do that. Okay, great, thank you so much. Are you on the next one, 256?
Kelly's here for 56.
Yep.
Mayor, this is a zoning out in the greenways. Kind of a continuation of successful development patterns out there. Kelly?
This is the beginning of some development that is going to be on the west side of their second linear park. And this is just a continuation of different sizes of lots, some moderate density, some larger residential one-type properties. So this is just an extension of the residential zoning that's already within the greenways, and it's appropriate, and Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of that.
Okay. Thank you. Number 4.
Will be Mr. Shaw as well, Mayor, and this one's across the road out in Hillside Terrace.
Same thing, this is just a continuation of the residential development in Hillside Terrace Estates, just west of Sauncey and behind Hillside Christian Church out there. This, again, is to bring in some property that's currently zoned agricultural, to rezone some of that property for moderate density type residential uses and R2. So again, it's in conformance with the existing residential development and zoning standards out there, so the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended.
In your comprehensive plan, did you estimate that this was going to continue to happen going west like that?
Yes,
It's still in?
it's designated as a resident, you have the same property owner that owns that entire section, so not only does he own that section, he owns another section that's kind of catty corner to that section. So, but this particular section we already have a master development plan for that.
And it's better for the developer to do little pieces at a time, little strips at a time?
It's being phased in.
Yeah.
You kind of had the ebb and flow there for residential development that's picking back up.
Yeah.
So
Good.
that's why you're seeing some of these zoning cases come before you now when we didn't have any.
Right. Okay, good. Any other questions? Okay. Number 5, okay.
Mayor, item number 5 is continuation of the city's efforts to work our way through the most recent SBS or Excel Energy Company's proposed rate increase. Marcus?
The company has asked us to deny their request so that they can consolidate the denials from all the panhandle cities into a single proceeding of the utility commission. That's efficient for everyone. That way we have the experts deposed one time and testify one time and get a single ruling from Austin that covers the entire region rather than having the potential of patchwork regulations by different cities approving different rates. On the denial itself is 3 pages. If you look behind that, there is a memo that has a box at the top. You'll recognize that. It says denial. In the center of that page, there's 6 bullet points that summarizes the request by the company and some of the matters that will be debated with the company in their rate filing package. Preliminary review by our experts in Austin raises these concerns. Representatives of the company will be present at 3 o'clock. They do not plan to make a statement. They told them that they're available if you have any questions for them. Negotiations continue. company's been talking to the cities, and the city's been talking to the company, but we're reaching one of those statutory deadlines. If you don't take action, then their request goes into effect by law at the end of the year. So it's a, to use a trite phrase, or maybe you've heard, a friendly suit. This is an amicable matter at this point between the city and the company in terms of seeking this denial. We're not being hostile to the company.
Okay. So did you just say EDC was, they did it today? Is that what you just said? Did they go on it today?
No.
Some of the other cities throughout the region that are affected in the same rate group will be making the same actions, and some of them actually already have.
That's right.
So we're staying in with that group.
And let me finish my explanation of the memo. The bullet points are a summary of what the company's seeking. At the bottom of the page, continuing to the next one, are 7 points of concern that our experts have identified that will be debated with them. At this point, there's no reason not to be as optimistic that we'll settle this case as we have some others.
Do they have a timeline when they're going to review it again and come back to us and try to get one passed? I was just curious.
Nothing firm at this time there. With these denials, there will be some statutory deadlines in Austin that will kick in, but those timelines themselves build in negotiating time. The Public Utility Commission encourages cities and companies to try to seek a settlement before they go. You may recall, I think it was the last rate case we had with this company, we reached a settlement. The one before that, we reached a settlement on 4 out of 7 issues, and 3 of the issues we did litigate with the PUC. So we agree where we can and litigate where we have to.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. Questions, guys?
You know where the PUC is if you need to go
Yeah,
down
we
there.
do know, don't we, Kelly? We know where they are. And did you know there's these people that make all these decisions at PUC, there's 3 people on that board, on that commission. I couldn't believe it, did you?
They have a very, very large staff sitting behind
I
them.
bet.
The hallways and floors around them.
Yeah.
It's a large agency.
They're elected, aren't they?
No, they're government.
Yeah.
The RRC, I think the PUC are all
How would they,
appointees.
I mean,
They are. This is a working board.
Yeah,
It is very much so. Weekly.
Okay, great. Let's see.
right.
We're on number 6.
Number 6 is second and final of finishing out our work with various golf course fee changes, and this is taking the punch card into just the regular discount card.
Second file.
I think that's interesting, we have to vote on just changing the name.
We're changing the structure of that. The punch
Yeah.
card was just not dissimilar from what you might get from a donut stop or another deal where you pre-purchased 12 dozen donuts, and every time you use it, they click it out. Our punch card program assigned a certain number of rounds of play at each of 4 courses, and you're soon not to have 4 courses to play for a period of time. So it's a good opportunity to update that.
Yeah. Okay, all righty. Boy, there are a lot on the consent agenda today.
We've got a busy week. We're going to finish the year busy.
Good, okay, well, let's go down the list.
Item A is purchase of computer hardware and associated licenses, etc. James, you would come up, please. This one is largely part of your just routine and ongoing function of maintaining this for the city.
Item A really mirrors a mixed bag, if you will. It covers multiple different projects. Spans this PRPC project, which you'll also see in item B. That's a project that y'all approved back in August. Also with public health, a couple servers for them. They're putting in a new software program to manage the clinic operations, HMIS. I think there's 1 desktop in there and 27 monitors we're replacing for those guys. Kind of a mixed bag. There's several other small ones in there for departments of things that were approved during the budget process. We're trying to get those on there.
Hey, is that A and B, or is that just A?
That's A.
Just A.
Okay.
B is another part of the PRPC project that you guys approved for us back in August. This is the intrusion prevention equipment for this network that we're establishing for the 26 county network.
Thank you so much.
They're all DIR.
What?
They're all DIR.
Oh, yeah, yeah, all right. All right, let's see, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, that's item C is purchase of an annual maintenance agreement for two very expensive pieces of equipment that we operate out in our environmental laboratory. We typically do this every year. There are specific pieces in each of these two machines that if they were to fail would equal the sum total of this cost of this agreement. So in many ways you're purchasing an insurance policy on those items.
I worry, I wake up at night worried about the inductively coupled plasma spectrometer.
You think you'd get that insurance policy, it's like $5,000. That's just.
I'll tell you what, Commissioner, an ICP is what we call it.
Oh.
And, it has actual plasma in it with a temperature of 7,000 to 9,000 degrees, which is extremely hot. And it does the job. There's another type of instrument that's used to detect metals, all kinds of metals, and it's called an atomic absorption spectrophotometer.
Sure,
You know,
I know
don't let
that.
that get to you.
I remember that.
But for the AA, you had to put a separate hollow cathode in there for every metal you tested.
For alcoholics?
For metals.
Jen's got
And the ICP basically,
This is your
you
serial
shoot a
number
sample,
information.
it gives you all the metals at one time.
Well, but the other one is for mass. Why wouldn't mass?
Mass,
Cover that area.
it's like two machines in one. It's an ICP plus a mass spectrometer. And it has the ability to break out subatomic particles and measure them.
We're gonna make an atom bomb.
Gosh.
And we loan these out on the weekends for science fiction films.
Yeah.
Do you run these all the time, or is this like a once in a?
These are run probably more than any instrument out there.
Is it like drag the whole city of Amarillo electric supply down and pull on? Or?
Actually, it's gas. It's a specialized gas that they use to achieve that high temperature. It's not really a flame. It looks like a flame, but it's a plasma.
Can you keep that out at this?
It's almost as hot as the surface of the sun.
Let's go.
And it will literally take atoms apart. It doesn't explode though.
It's good.
It
Are
just
you a
works.
chemist, Emmett? Are you a chemist?
Oh, don't
I have
get started.
I have a chemistry and biology background.
That's just those you lose some kid feet.
One of these, the ICP itself is 14 years old, by the way.
So what is?
The ICP.
Okay.
Okay.
Mayor, item D, moving right
Yeah,
along.
moving on.
You don't want no more science.
I enjoyed it myself.
We'll close that out. These pieces of equipment and the folks that operate them, we're actually required in some cases to look at chemical analysis of parts per billion and parts per trillion. So it's getting to the point that we're going to detect the presence of something, and therefore that will be satisfactory. But right now, it's pretty detailed.
Anything you're finding in there that's not, that we should have in there?
No, sir, it's just that we find everything very quickly with these instruments.
Yeah. Hey, you want to come? Oh, yes, there you come. Thank you.
Mayor, item D and item E
The
go
airport.
together. This is the ticket level drive project. That's the name of it. It actually is the upper level drive where you come into the airport. Of course, the lower level drive where you come and leave your baggage claim, as well as our opportunity to construct a cell phone waiting lot that will be out as you come in. And this will ultimately result in the removal of the vehicle inspection points, place where you stop today and open your trunk, open your toolbox, and you pick up, etc.
And have no idea what they're looking for. I mean,
You have to
as a
have-
customer, I know.
You have to have an ICP to find it.
Right.
Anyway, it's a huge step forward. Of course, repairs are definitely needed. Both of those structures are original to the building. We have some issues with the upper one, certainly. The bridge, if you would call it that, takes you from the upper level drive into the parking garage, which today was the site of a vehicle fire. Yes, it was. So we've had a little bit of excitement out there this morning.
On the bridge going into the parking garage?
It was where you turn in to go on the upper level, when you turn to go in the parking garage,
Uh-huh.
the vehicle is parked along the curb just before you get to the entrance.
What's the new program keep you from parking too long?
Yeah.
Were the people there or were they inside?
The owner had brought them on to fly out and was at checkpoints and stayed in the back of the building until he was sure that flight left. And
So you were on.
when he got back to the front, the smoke had pretty much cleared, and he was surprised to see his truck, or its remains, I should say.
Pretty beneficial having your own fire department.
Yeah.
Pretty much
Yeah.
on site, especially something like that occurs.
I had some questions about these bids, something interesting. Did you?
Which
I
one?
did.
It was interesting to me that of all the people who gave bids, it said that errors found incorrectly by KSA engineers on a vast majority of many of these numbers. What's
It's
that?
very typical when you get construction bids. Usually when the city does that, it's not noted. That's often when they take an extension for a quantity or a unit price and extend it.
Yes.
You'll find a decimal that was moved or just something to the effect. There are no changes whatsoever to the materiality of their bids.
Okay. It was curious to me though that one of the companies, I guess the one who does contracts all over the state, had absolutely no errors. And all the other companies had many errors. I thought it was curious. You know, so is that just because they do it all the time and they know?
I'll take you to say why that.
Yeah.
And then one of the
Wouldn't
line
have
items
known.
here, the signage.
Yes, that was,
See, one of the local contractors would have gotten this contract, except they bid almost $400,000 for signage, while the other company bid 24.
that was.
You
the
noticed that
question.
too?
Well, here again,
How is that possible?
yeah, and when they, of course, a bid is a bid.
The contractor was contacted, and he said he would stand by his number.
The low bid.
A little bit.
Of course, I have no idea what constitutes all this signage, so I don't know who's closer to being accurate, but boy, there's a hell of a disparity there, from 24,000 to 339,000.
Right.
Plus, I'm prejudiced because the losing bidder is local. And, I'm sensitive to that. I think we all are.
Yeah. There's
So it was
two
a
locals that bid
question,
on it.
whatever, yeah. So,
Well, do you know what kind of signage it is? I just.
We do, it's actually spelled out in the bidding documents.
Really?
Yeah, but we don't have a set of
They
those.
say they'll stand by, you're just like.
He made the bid, it was a legitimate bid. We questioned why his number was significantly different than the others. And he said, we will do it for what we bid.
He just bought a Chinese sign company.
They have.
so be it.
The total isn't that much different.
No, but it's all
The
the signs.
bids are tied in total, which
Mhm.
does provide some level of confidence.
Sheriff, tell me again what's gonna happen to the gate as they come in. What are you gonna do out there?
As you come in, as you turn off of Airport Drive, and you pass what used to be that rental car lot, that old service station that's on the corner, beginning immediately past that on your right, that area will be converted to a long linear parking area, like you would find it in many airports, a cell phone waiting area, which is where you would go if you were awaiting the arrival of a passenger. You had someone you were going to drop off, and it was just a little early to drop them off. So you'll have that on your right. As you continue to approach the airport, the little building that's in the middle between the two lanes, that goes away. And that function associated with it goes away. And then you would take the upper drive if you were dropping passengers off. And you would go to the lower level if you were picking passengers up.
And how is it able to get rid of it now and kept it for so long?
The regulations allow that. The big change is, though, you become an active loading and unloading zone. You won't be able to park your car
Yeah, that's what I
in
mean.
front of the
No,
airport
we're
and
not.
leave it.
We're not.
It's gonna be like every other airport.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
One of the three that we knew that still did this, counting us as three, just eliminated theirs.
Right.
So that leaves us and one other, and then this project will take that
Was that contracted out or was that TAC,
Those-
TSA, I'm sorry?
Those are airport employees, other city employees,
Well, thank you.
compensated both by the airport and partially by the airlines. They're required to pay for part of that.
Will we find a spot for them?
We will.
We will.
That's amazing. I sure like that convenience, that was nice.
Being able to park.
Yeah.
It was a waste of money.
I like the parking. Run in.
Don't even look. Come on through.
Probably the number
Just
one
shoot it
source
at
of
the
How do you know that?
questions, comments,
Yeah.
and complaints was
They looked at all.
that particular function.
So this morning, the driver of the pickup truck with his truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been, the pickup wouldn't have caught fire where it was sitting
Yeah.
this
They
morning.
moved it away from the building.
Gosh, I hate that. Okay. Let's see.
Mayor, E goes with that. D is funded again by your annual airport grant, airport improvement program grant, 95%. Part of that does require the construction administration contract, which is the next one out of it, also paid for on the same basis.
How are you gonna do that upper deck?
Good question.
And
Keep
keep
the
the airport open?
We will have one lane open on top and on the bottom at all the time. And those people who are now doing the inspection of the vehicles, we'll use them to direct people where they need to go. And it'll be a challenge, but we've worked this through our minds numerous times and drawing lines on paper, and it'll work.
Any customer service training for any of those people?
All of them, hopefully it'll work.
Well, of course, since you will not be able to leave your car, you'll have to continue to slow the traffic. That'll help a lot.
That was for my dad. Remember, he left his car running and went, caught his plane, fell about cars.
I hadn't heard any stories like that before.
I know about
Bub's
you,
been-
Steve. So did Jim Sims twice.
You did that twice?
Twice.
Hey, so did Madison Scott bragging to his son about what his granddaddy had done, and I was walking to the terminal, and his Hunter goes, "Dad, are you not gonna go move your car?" And I'm like,
Well, and
I've done
again,
it. We've
you'll
done it.
still be able to access the parking garage from that upper level. So if you choose to come off,
So
you can
anxious
drop
to see my
someone who's out.
grandchildren, both sides. And I didn't, the first time, until I said, until I reached in my coat pocket and there was my car keys. And I remembered, damn, I didn't go park the car.
in
I
Cleveland.
called from Cleveland, yeah.
Mayor, item F, moving right along.
Tell me more about this.
Then I did it again.
Okay.
Your major construction project out there is rapidly moving towards completion. I think Pat will talk to us a little bit about how that has stayed on timeline. Certainly has stayed within the budget or has been better than the budget. This is the follow-up to your baggage system project that you have here today. Change order to the current contractor, which is obviously the best and most prudent way to do this effort. Pat?
We refer to this as the ATO project, the Airline Ticket Office. And it's a long process of how we got where we are, but when we were early in the design of the bag system, we were looking for ways to save money on that thing because we were talking $8 million. And then we figured out and we learned that the penetrations in the building was what was so expensive, and then also created a lot of intersections and had electronic equipment with it, which we knew would be a maintenance problem or at least a challenge after the system was up and running. So we evolved into 2 penetrations. And one of them will be at the American Airlines door. The belt will run from Southwest all the way down to where American's door is right now, and then it'll go into the building down below. The other one will start down on the west end, and it'll run all the way to where Continental Express's counters are, and it'll go down along that hallway, same as the other side. That eliminated, we think that eliminated about $2 million, and then we spent $1 million of that in closing the building. And then
What do you mean closing the building?
remember several months ago we did the building enclosure for the bag
The
system
underneath.
the
driveway.
We did the carousels and we closed the building up. Originally it was open through the bottom, so there'd be a lot of outdoor work like there is now. So that was an improvement to the building.
The airline ticket office doors will now be on the backside, so the employees will have to go around into the hallway where the administrative offices are. But we know that that's a more efficient way to go, and we've always been concerned, we remain concerned about keeping that system running once it starts. So the simpler it is, the better it is. And then we got the plans put together, and we came in about 83,000 under our budget for that particular project.
And then the down the road operations maintenance of that system is truly the tail of the dragon. One of these big bag systems, so the more streamlined it is, the fewer pieces and parts. That will pay us back even beyond the $1 million+ that you saved today.
Right, it's really moving along.
It is.
And we still estimate closing date.
Between the 10th and the 16th of May.
Really?
The old concourse won't be down, but we'll be in the building.
But they can just be torn out of convenience.
Think about making a tour.
Well, most of it will be convenient, except on the east end of the new concourse, that jet bridge will be severely restricted until the existing concourse comes down.
Yeah.
But the rest of it will be easy. And I think we have I know we have all the big pieces put together, and we're far enough into the plan that there shouldn't be any more big surprises. I know there's just going to be, I've been meeting with the airlines, and they want us to do more than we want to do as far as moving their equipment and hooking it up and making it work. And there'll be some challenges there, but I just think we're in great shape at this point.
Good work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, appreciate it. Look forward to the opening. Great. That was it?
Pardon? Yes, ma'am. Item G, your annual funding for the HIV prevention grant. Same funding we received in the previous year.
Okay, then the boiler repair project.
This is a project that we authorized as emergency repair. It's again at the airport. Obviously, it's in the basement. Part of the flood damage was all the control systems, et cetera, that ran everything. As they were working through that and they had the boilers open, one of our two boilers, the interior of it, the piece where the water travels back and forth inside the boiler, those tubes were not going to function, and they would not have functioned as we begin to hit colder and colder weather, and that boiler would keep coming offline. So we did approve that project to get those tubes replaced as quickly as possible. We bring it to you now today for your final approval.
Okay. Y'all have any questions on that one? Okay, if not, we'll do Lawrence Lake pumps, emergency repair as well.
Item I, we lost both of the big pumps at Lawrence Lake.
Really?
Those obviously were an emergency
Yeah.
as well, so that.
Is that why the lake's still surviving?
What is it doing there?
Can't jump out of it.
It looks good being full.
It does until the next time we have a
I don't see any tires laying around.
rain event.
No.
Same thing here. As you can see, we put the numbers on here, what size those pumps are. Those are big pumps.
And
They
they're
move a lot of
totally-
water. And it's part of the work that Michael and his staff do to sequentially move water through these different lakes until we can ultimately get rid of it.
So they broke
Yes, sir.
or rusted out or not that good?
They're broke. They're in Lubbock and they're being repaired. We're getting excellent support from utilities. That gives them our pump experts, and between the two of us, we're trying to get these back in service as soon as we can.
How about the drainage? Did we get all that repaired before that big storm, inch and a half, 2 inches of rain?
The head wall project?
Yeah.
I don't think it's been bid.
None of that has been bid yet.
Oh, so we do have some more deterioration. Make it
Yes, sir.
worse.
Yes, we do.
Be
So
like
we're all
Oregon,
on
be like
concrete.
Oregon, we're gonna have a sinkhole.
There's one in California. I hope we keep fire truck out of it. Y'all seen that picture of
Yeah.
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole fire engine in the sinkhole?
Did you see the snow in, was it Minnesota, where they,
Where the roof came in?
football
Yeah.
stadium?
Yeah, that was a blow-up roof.
I thought so. How did,
Inflatable roof, yeah.
how do you blow something like that up? After they get fixed, yeah.
Moving right along.
I'm
It
serious.
really doesn't take as much extra air pressure as you would think.
Really?
There's a frame up there.
Yeah.
That sits over and then it just slightly inflates.
Hmm.
They needed to heat it.
Okay, we have a property purchase here.
Mayor, this is a request for approval to purchase the vacant piece of property up here at your current bus transfer station that you saw at the center of all the route maps that Judy and Vicki have for us today. Today we have roughly 1/3 of that block, that fence, that block fence that's behind the bus transfer station is the end of our property. The remainder of that block has come available, listed through a commercial broker. We've negotiated what we feel like is a very fair purchase. And we would ask your permission to buy that. That can be used to support future endeavors through that transfer facility. Of course, immediately across the street is all of the police parking facilities. And failing that, it could be used for anything that's beneficial to the city. Good piece of property, been vacant for decades.
Really?
The seller is some people
It was
in Stamford, Connecticut.
It was crafted, printed and crafted, sold to Synveo.
It's
And so it's Synveo's property.
Oh, they sold it to the company developed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. And then the last one.
Typical license and hold harmless agreement that we have on here for you. Okay, would you please answer any questions on the agenda? If not, we do have another lengthy list of closed session items that we'd like to discuss.
Okay. Don, okay, thank you, Marcus.
Mayor and Commission, I'll call a closed session pursuant to the following exceptions with Texas Open Meetings Act. First, consult with attorney on public client and assets. Matter.